Hello, I'm Atujama and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9. Now headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has lauded India's youth for their contribution towards the development of the country. He said India's youth has taken the nation to the top 3 in the world in terms of creating startups. Protesters blocked roads and burned tires in Patna during protests against alleged discrepancies in railway recruitment examinations. Several student organizations, including the left-affiliated All India Students Association, have joined the band. Drugs Controller General of India granted permission to Bharat Biotech to start conducting booster dose trials for its intranasal coronavirus vaccine. The approval has been granted to conduct phase 3 trials. Head of Uttar Pradesh Assembly polls, Bharatiya Janata Party National President JP Nadda convened a meeting of party workers in Shahjahanpur district. He is also scheduled to participate in various other programs of party in Bareilly. Poaching of rhinos and elephants for their horn and tusk have drastically reduced following a series of steps taken by the Assam Forest Department, including an increase in forest guards and vigilance. However, there have been many times that the accused involved in any poaching incident hail from Nagaland. This year, only one poaching case of a one-horned female rhino has been reported. Speaking exclusively to Hornbill TV, the director of Kaziranga National Park, P. Shivakumar, informed that shooters involved in poaching are mostly from Nagaland and Manipur. Let's have a look at the details.
Thing is under control, but still there's one poaching in this month. We are trying to take the responsibility on the poachers.
So in connection with Nagaland, a lot of poachers also are from the state of Nagaland, basically middlemen, I would say. So
yeah, basically shooter used to be come from Manipur or Nagaland.
Shooters from Manipur or Nagaland.
And yeah, shooters. Then again, that middleman sometime from Nagaland.
Okay. And so why do you think they choose this route of Nagaland to come and enter Nagaland? Are there buyers here or where are they sending it across, sir?
So basically, it's going to Surachandpur in Manipur. From there, it's going to Myanmar side. They get imprisonment up to 7 years, and in case of habitual offender, then they can become a life imprisonment.
So rhinos are the most affected in the area, you would say?
Yeah, even in Kaziranga, that we are considering most of the threatened or endangered species. So not only rhino, we are having tiger, elephant, buffalo.
How is the scenario right now in regard to COVID situation? Is the
yeah, tourism industry little bit down, like Saturday, Sunday, flow is normal, or otherwise working days still down.
Mm-hmm. Due to COVID.
And, in case of foreigners, that due to suspension of internet to take service. So only the foreigner who already working in embassy or different MNCs, they are only visiting.
The Wildlife Warden Dimapur Division, Toka Haukinimi, also spoke to the channel and shed some light on the situation of poachers from Nagaland. He informed that there are not many poachers reported from the state, but middlemen have always been caught trying to transport the contraband.
Which Naga, from where, who is that, the identity and everything, they do not, I don't think they are obliged to share with us also, because we are different states. So we don't get those live information actually.
All right. And what if the poachers are caught in Nagaland? Suppose, they're caught with illegal items. So I just wanted to know, how does it work, this system? So they will...
Listen, when it comes to wildlife crimes, okay, even if it comes to police, forget about forest department. Even when it comes to police, they are empowered. The state government has empowered the police also to take up these cases.
Okay.
So in some instances, you might have seen in the past also that the police have seized rhino horn. They take up the case in the court
All right.
because they are empowered by it, using the Forest Act also.
And who are the buyers of these horns and tusks?
So far, we have not interrogated much of the rhino horn poachers because it's mostly the police who have caught in some raid or something like that. They have chanced upon these rhino horns.
Okay.
But based on our experience, what we have faced so far, like we have to get one very good example or catch somebody with the rhino horns.
Okay.
It is so we have not interrogated as such, but we have some specific information from the time to time we get information from the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau
All right. All right.
that such and such things are there, such and such things are there. But we keep an eye on this. But this entire affair is not exactly like not everybody has the information to it. Most likely, we will not be buyers. We are just middlemen. It has to cross the border for consignment to fetch.
To have a short discussion on this matter, we'll be joined by our senior news analyst, Elle, from the newsroom. Hi, Elle. Thank you so much for joining us tonight as well. Right, now moving on with this discussion. You see, although Nagaland has no rhinos, the latest incident seems to indicate a trend of people from Nagaland being involved in shady ivory dealings, including poaching, or is it just an isolated incident?
Yeah, I think cases of poaching have been reported earlier, especially from the boaters, that indicated the involvement of people from Nagaland. Yes, that is true. But right now, I think it is too early to say that we have a lot of people from Nagaland who are actually engaged in rhino poaching, because we are depending only on the opinions of one or two individuals or certain reports. We actually need to have statistics or the numbers, especially from the enforcement authorities, to actually say that there are a lot of people from this or that state engaged in this. But that aside, it is true that this might not be really an isolated case, because way back in July 2019, there was a report of about 5 persons. One of them was a person reportedly from Dimapur, and according to the police authorities, he was the shooter, that is the person who actually shoots the animal. So he was involved among these 4 non-Naga persons who were caught allegedly for trying to poach rhinos. So I mean, traditionally we have been a hunting community. Our ancestors were all hunters, so this might have given the misplaced notion that we do well in jungle trades, so which otherwise also might have spilled in other wrong trades and given us the image that perhaps all these shooters are from Nagaland. They're good at it, they're good in hunting and jungle fairs, so this might have given rise to that notion, Atu.
Right. Also, how lucrative is wildlife crime that people are willing to take risk?
Yeah, it is very lucrative, Atu. In fact, wildlife crime is the 4th most lucrative black trade in the world today, after drug trafficking, human trafficking, and arms trafficking. Actually, the black market in wildlife product is about $7 billion to 23 billion US dollars if you really calculate it. And by comparison, I'll give you the footwear industry in India too is worth about $10 billion if you compare it. But wildlife, it stretches all the way from $7 billion to $23 billion. So it's a huge market. It is very lucrative, and I believe the money involved is the one reason why people are willing to walk down the hard path here, Atu.
Also, for educational purposes, how much are rhino horns actually worth?
They're worth a lot. Let me give you a small comparison. Okay, first thing, 1 kilogram of rhino horn is worth approximately $65,000 US dollars, Atu. So
Right.
which in Indian money is about 48,74,000 something. 48,74 something. So now I'll give you a comparison. If you got married or you got engaged and your man gives you diamond that is about one kilogram, it will be worth only about 5,000 US dollars to 10,000 US dollars for 1 kilogram of diamond. But you compare it to 1 kilogram of rhino horn, it's about $65,000, which is about 48 lakhs 74 something. So if you put the price of 1 kilogram of diamond to the price of 1 kilogram of rhino horn, then it doesn't even come near. Trust me, like it's a big money too.
Alright, also, since elephants and rhinos are two of the planet's most endangered animal species among many others, threatened by, in this context, poaching, how can wildlife crime be stopped? Can you please give us more ideas on that as well?
Yeah, I think there's one question that everyone across the world, from governments, international forums, communities, and legislative bodies across the world have been, and that's a question they've been grappling with for the past 100 years or so, but there is still no solution how to really stop this. But of course, technically speaking, what experts say is that there are only 3 ways to actually stopping poaching. And first is to destroy the supply chain. Second is to break the demand chain. And the third is to actually legalize trade in wildlife products. The first that is destroying the supply chain is to go after poachers, the suppliers. And the second is to go after the market, the one who buy, the people who buy. So right now, the only activities that's focused on stopping wildlife crime is concentrated around destroying the demand and breaking the supply chain. So those are basically the only ways right now are two.
Wardell, thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was quite informative. Thank you.
Thank you, Atu.
Moving on to the next news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inspected National Cadet Corps rally at Karyappa ground in Delhi on January 28. While addressing the rally, he said he is proud that he was also an active member of the NCC. A large number of girl cadets participated in the rally, and this is the change India is witnessing today, he said. He further added that over 1 lakh new NCC cadets added on border areas in the past 2 years.
जब देश आजादी के 100 साल पूर्ण करेगा, 2047 के भव्य भारत का निर्माण करेंगी। मुझे गर्व है कि मैं भी कभी आप ही की तरह एनसीसी का सक्रिय कैडेट रहा हूं, लेकिन जो सौभाग्य आपको मिला है वो मुझे नहीं मिला था। मुझे एनसीसी में जो ट्रेनिंग मिली, जो जानने सीखने का अवसर मिला, आज देश के प्रति अपनी जिम्मेदारियों के निर्वहन में मुझे उन संस्कारों से, उस ट्रेनिंग।
The Drugs Controller General of India, DCGI, on January 28 granted permission to Bharat Biotech to start conducting booster dose trials for its intranasal coronavirus vaccine. The approval has been granted to conduct phase 3 trials. The trials would evaluate the nasal vaccine for both the 2-dose primary schedule and also to use as booster dose schedule, company source told PTI. The trials will be conducted at 9 different sites by Bharat Biotech, the makers of Covaxin. Earlier this month, in a bid to prevent the spread of coronavirus infection driven by its Omicron variant, India has started administering the precautionary dose of COVID-19 vaccine to healthcare and frontline workers and comorbid people aged 60 years and above. Bharat Biotech had received regulatory approval for mid to late stage trials for the intranasal vaccine BBV154 in August last year. Even as the fast-spreading Omicron strain started waning in parts of the world, another variant of the coronavirus disease, Newcov, is creating a buzz after scientists from Wuhan in China, where the COVID-19 pandemic originated, flagged concerns that it may have much higher rate of transmission compared to previous strains and could potentially be the deadliest of them all. According to a research paper submitted by scientists in Wuhan, Newcov is related to the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS coronavirus. Discovered in a bat population in South Africa, the virus was known to be spreading only among animals. However, it has now been found that Newcov and PDF 2180 cough use some types of angiotensin converting enzyme, including the PAT, ACE2 and human ACE2 for entry. Although not a new variant, the MERS cough virus is similar to SARS-CoV-2 in terms of symptoms like fever, cough and shortness of breath, and was prevalent in the Middle Eastern countries in 2012 and 2015. Many people died due to the infection. The granddaughter of Bharatiya Janata Party leader and former Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has allegedly died by suicide. The deceased is in her early 30s, was a doctor at MS Ramaya Hospital in Bengaluru. According to the police, she was living with her husband, a fellow doctor, and a 6-month-old child at an upscale apartment near Mount Carmel College, Bengaluru. The police said that the incident came to light around 10 a.m. when one of the domestic helpers of the house called her husband, Niranjan, and informed him that they were ringing the call bell and also knocking on the door, but there was no response. As per the office of the BJP leader, she was found hanging at their apartment. A post-mortem is underway at the Boring and Lady Curzon Hospital. Following Air India's takeover by Tata Group, Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia on January 28 said that it is a win-win situation for all stakeholders concerned for the government. He added this transaction represents a huge quantum jump in terms of capabilities in the civil aviation sector.
It's a win-win situation for all stakeholders concerned, for the government, for the Tata Group, and most importantly, for our stakeholders, which is our customers in the civil aviation sector. This transaction represents a huge quantum jump in terms of capabilities in the civil aviation sector. It also represents the culmination of a long process that has taken almost 20 years to conclude for the privatization, and it also sets in perspective a 69-year-old history which was started on the wrong step by the nationalization of an airline that actually belonged in the private.
As many as 4 people have been arrested for pelting stones and vandalism at Rajendra Nagar terminal in Patna, Bihar, for staging a protest against alleged discrepancies in the Railway Recruitment Board's NTPC Stage 1 exam results, said Patna District Magistrate Chandrasekhar Singh on January 27. 4 people have been arrested for pelting stones and vandalism at Patna's Rajendra Nagar terminal on January 24. During the inquiry, 6 coaching institute teachers were named for provoking them. We have taken cognizance of some viral videos for probe, the DM added. The students are protesting against the Railway Recruitment Board's non-technical popular categories inaccurate exam results that were out on January 15. They have opposed a decision by the railways to hold the exam in 2 stages, claiming that the second stage is unfair to those who have cleared the first stage.
व्यक्ति विशेष पर नहीं है। जो 24 तारीख की घटना है राजेंद्र नगर रेलवे स्टेशन पर, उसमें जो तोड़फोड़, पत्थरबाजी या आगजनी हुई थी, उसमें 4 लोग पकड़े गए थे और 24 तारीख को ही प्राथमिकी दर्ज की गई थी स्थानीय थाना में। कोई नई प्राथमिकी दर्ज नहीं है और जो लोग पकड़े गए थे उन लोगों से पूछताछ के क्रम में उन लोगों ने 6 लोगों का नाम बताया है, 6 कोचिंग संचालक, 6 और कोचिंग संचालक या उनके प्रतिनिधि का नाम उन लोगों ने बताया है कि जिनका नाम आया है प्राथमिकी में, और उसकी जांच पुलिस कर रही है। और जो सोशल मीडिया में कुछ वीडियो वगैरह वायरल हुए थे, वो भी उसका भी संज्ञान पुलिस ने।
The citizens and the students of Toluvi area Joint Village Council have been facing a lot of hardships due to the deplorable road conditions in the area. In this regard, reconstruction of road is taking place after a gap of 21 years. The council comprises of 7 villages. However, the citizens are happy that the government has taken up the initiative of reconstructing the road, said the former chairman of Toluvi area Joint Council, Viko Lua Asumi, in an interview with HornbillTV. Let us have a look at the detailed report from our reporter Jivan Rai.
After 21 years, Purna Bazar B, Luha Bridge pra luigena ete Tolvi par hoigena bhitor Samaguri par hoigena nudi tok rasta doile ekdam dilapidated condition de thagise. Rainy season aile pani bhorta jama hoi jay aru citizens khan bishi duk pai thagise te students khan luigena soppe. But after 21 years ete rasta doile etia banai ase. Renovation ko bor noile reconstruction hoi ase. To etela citizens khan bi bishi khushi ami gan dikhi ase. Enegai Tolvi area laga village joint village council laga former chairman ami khan lote ase Mr. Viko Gasumi tai lode janibo takhan la kenega ase itia khushi asna nai aru kiba government ki message ase niki. Yes,
21 years duk paigina ajeshi Tolvi area itutole from Purna Bazar B to Samaguri ito nichokar nodi damro tak to public ekdam mon bika takile because of rasta to ikibar thik nai aro itu public hi nogina student khandole play kurble kim diktar takile. But after 21 years itia aman area ti rasta banda bole surase ita tak thik chole ase. Itu garni aman area man ekdam aman state government especially Sir Nefirio chief minister taige ekdam khushi jana ase. Itu bra iti khushi jana bra ekta problem ase jan bole mon ase. Itu garni PWD road and bridge department and along with that tadi head of department di ki ase chief engineer loigena same aro request kora ase. Itia amandole ki olebi aman area mandolo kon bi development dolo stop nai and no land compensation aman claim ikunai area itu khato kogina pela bar rakha ase. Kot olebi amandole disturb no grobo aro itatak bi amandole ikku disturb nai area ti development lage amandu development lage itu running public kon bi itu hala gula nai tu contractor kun kora ase government pata dola ini peacefully tahan bi kam kuro jase kam bi ekdam progress hobole diase to amandole aman public letter kani tan guide korina kam cholibul jase holibi ekta aman khushi na bado ekta ase nala bot side nala ase ko ase tu bot side nala di khuntinga rage ase njor la main road ti samna dole nala khuntinga rage ase aru itu nala tole nodi kun jaga di pani flowing korbo tadi tu nala provision tadi laad bolage tu pani tadi flowing hoi jabo tadi nodi di jabo pare holibi iniga njor laga gor samna di nala kunti kena rakhe ase itu da dipi around 3-4 deep hoase tu tadi bra kun ba time dole ita dole rain season no holibi rain season na logi di automatically tu no CC wall ko ase according to DPR tu contractor kan ko ase according to DPR nala tu kunti kena rakhi dibo holibi no CC wall in du ko ase. That is number one problem. Tu CC wall na thakije gole itu nala bot side kun kena rakina rainy season di pani tadi porta hobola ase and itu pani tu kot jabla dibola ase itu channel pinai njor jaga di nala kunti kena njor samna ti ini rakhi dia ase okay itu holebi aman njor holebi para man kan dole njor hi hin pipe legena tadi mati kunti kena itu rasta njor la connection du main road ti panchayat bola ase holebi na para man kot jabla dibo tu matlab tu itu black top undu bhal groshe golebi itu dole kitabi itu dole 2 साल 3 साल ना जब within 2 years or within 1 years पर इतो ब्लैक टॉप दोले भांग बोले आसे इतो जनाई खोदा किले माने इतो रेनी टाइम दोले नालाती इतो पानी लेके ना कुन जादी फ्लोइंग जादी पता बोला के इतनी नौकरी नी अड्डा इंजर गोर सामने ती रखे इतो किना गुइना तादी माटी नाला तादी पानी जमा करेंगे थाकी बोला आसे दे इतो प्रॉब्लम आसे इतो गारनी इतो pani to kun jaga di nodi kun jaga di river kun jaga di ase tadi flowing jaga di connection di bola ge itu nokuringa taga dole rainy time dole kitta bi itu black time lasting hobo kile mani pani tole porta hegina itu kitta pani ghiri jabo rainy season nai jabo itu nalati pani porta utigina rasta bi punchi bola ase aro iti bi ini automatically to rasta bi itola float hobo pani pra uthina tu loke di tadi pra nala tu khundi ini rakhya no siswal ka ase di per hesa pradu itu garni itu rasta tu block to na itu tip top kule bi itu to pani tadi nala di jama kuri thakbola ase automatically itu block to bhangi tai ini sing kuri jai jabo itu khai kena kita abi rasta like nobo itu garni ami recuse kara ase department logo and along with that our chief minister rio shablo recuse kara ase morom kurigina itu ongoing work hesa pra itu nala tu siwal kur dila balobo plus itu nala tu sob jadi bana gina kun jaga di water flowing ase kun jaga di river ase tadi connection kurigina itu nala bi bal group play kurse gule automatically rasta bi block te bindula itu to lasting hobo itu to le 5-10 years to continue aram jai jabo ole bi nala gundinga raga ase pani jama kure ase itu pani jama kura dam dila block te gule bi sob bhangi tadi kiri jabo ase itu ane itu government logo recuse kara ase itu thanks be dia ase aru amang la ita problem tha garni itu.
That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.